What's going on, everybody? It's Donovan with Team Tate Outdoors. Today's video is going to be about putting together a Delta T27997 RB. We're going to be doing some plumbing today. We're going to plumb in our main shower with our Delta faucet, our Delta handle. I'm going to show you about the diverter, show you some tips and tricks, and yeah, let's get into this video. If you haven't already, go down there and hit the like and subscribe button, and yeah, let's jump right in. We got to put all these faucets in on the master shower. We got our glass door installed. Now it's time to go ahead and put all the fixtures in. So I'm going to do that today. Now I've already taken out the plug from the builders. They put these plugs in to mark so that when they put the sheetrock or tile on or whatever, they have some place to hit, so they make sure that they line it up perfectly. Now what I'm installing first, this is a body jet. It comes with an extension, and you can also buy bigger extensions. These are 1/2-inch extensions, and it's got the escutcheon ring on it right here. You want to make sure that when you are building your house, that when they do your tile work, that you show them the size of the escutcheon ring that they're gonna have to cut the hole for, to make sure that it's gonna fit. When our tile guy did our tile, he actually cut squares, and I'm lucky that I went and checked, because my escutcheon rings would not fit, and he had to take this portion of the tile off, and he had to redo it, and we had to go buy a hole saw bit that would work to fit these escutcheons. So guys, make sure that your plumber knows how big your escutcheon ring is for any device that is going into your tile. I'm adding some of this tape right here, and I'm also adding some of this thread sealer. Okay, I'm gonna add the tape first, then I'm gonna add the thread sealer, and now I'm gonna install it. I've already added it to this one. I'll pull the escutcheon ring back as far as I can, and just so you know, I did not put the extension on. What a dummy. Now I gotta take this one off and put the extension on. Okay guys, before you bash me on what I did, I'm gonna show you. So here's the one that came with it, right? The short one. Because my tile and how my plumbers plumbed in the top out plumbing, which the guys that I fired, one of the main reasons, and my tile guy put in the tile, this short one would not work. So I had to go and I had to buy extensions. You can buy these at Lowe's or Home Depot. They're basically 1/2 inch, and they taper off. They will fit into your piece so that you can get rid of these smaller ones. And these smaller ones just unscrew. And I've already loosened it up, so don't think it was, oh no, it was too loose. All right, so that is the piece that I had to take out. And I'm replacing it with, where you at? There you are. Okay, so I'm replacing this one with this one because I needed extra depth because it wouldn't meet up. So that's what I had to do. I had to buy these to replace this one. So now let me reinstall this one. Okay guys, here's the deal. I needed this a little bit longer extension. I grabbed the wrong one. I had the ones in the bag that I needed. I went and swapped it. This is the one I actually needed. It's just a, I don't know, 1/4 inch longer, 1/2 inch longer. This is the one I needed, so we're gonna put this one in now. There we go. Oh, yes, perfect. Perfect fit. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my wrench. I'm gonna put that on there very gently. Okay. There we go, guys. It's installed. First one is done. On to the rest of them. Look at that dirt. All right, guys, first part, we're gonna install this portion right here. We need to remove this piece right here, which is in there good. There we go. I'll remove that. Okay, here we go. Okay, now that that is installed, fold that. Well, come on now. Don't be a silly girl like this. There we go. If it gives you a little fits, guys, you gotta remove this afterwards, okay? Step one, install that piece. Okay, our next step is to install the diverter. Now, when you're looking at the diverter, you're holding it, you would be holding this, getting ready to put it into, say I was the shower. You're gonna look real closely, and right here on the diverter says hot. I don't know if you can see that well, but what we're gonna do is when we install that word hot needs to be on our left-hand side. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little bit of plumber's lube. They even supply this with Delta. We're gonna put a little bit on our O-ring so this will slide into place nice and easy. We're gonna do that now. Now it's important that that little arrow and that little arrow go into your diverter pieces right here and right there properly. That is why it's important to know that you can see the hot, because the arrows, it can go in both directions. We put that lube in there so it will slide in nice and tight. And it's gonna want to keep popping out, but we're gonna put it in and we're gonna put the O-ring on it. All right, here we go. This is the piece that we removed from the shower originally. We're gonna slide it over. We're gonna push that in, making sure it's all the way in, and then we are going to just tighten this, making sure that we're not cross-threading. Here we go. We're just gonna hand tighten that. There we go. All right, we're gonna push our O-ring right over here until it falls into this gap, and that's where that's gonna stay. So that whenever we get ready to put our cover on, it will go in and it will lock onto that so that it slides all the way in gently. Okay, our next part is gonna be putting in our diverter cartridge and the sleeve that makes sure it's locked in. We're gonna start off by putting a little bit of grease on this little O-ring right here and on this little O-ring right there. Let's slide in. And we will also put a little bit of oil, or plumber's grease, right here. What you are gonna, first off, what you are gonna notice is this has a flat side. I don't know if you can see that best. A flat side and a round side. Also on the bottom of this, there's a nipple right there. That nipple goes right in that bottom piece. So the way that's installed is just like this, nipple down. We want to make sure that it makes contact just like that. We're going to put the diverter portion on. So we're going to slide this in. And this does not line up any specific way. This can spin on this. So once you get this on, this will spin around on that. Most important part is that nipple lining up in there. Once this is installed, we're going to take our ring that we originally took off. We're going to slide it over it, and we're going to thread that on. And I'm just tightening this all the way up. If you can't quite get your fingers in there to tighten that up enough, it only needs to be hand tight. You can get a wrench in there to tighten it if you need to. Just remember, it only needs to be hand tight though. Don't go torquing on it. Okay, our next step is this dress up ring. This is gonna be going over this O-ring that we put on the bottom section right here. What we're gonna do is put that on, kind of twist it. And that should mount just like that. If it's a little hard, that's good. Just put a little bit of that lube on there and just kind of twist it until it gets in place. And this is going to be something that you can move in and out a little bit. Okay, that's done. Let's move on. Okay guys, this next part is going to be what may or may not frustrate you. This is our escutcheon, basically our trim kit, okay? And this is what's going on first, and then the outside kit goes on next. Why will it frustrate us? This is why. If your plumber or your tile guy made your wall thicker or shallower, you may have to get a different one of these, or you may have to get longer or shorter screws. Probably longer screws, I would think, because there's plenty of gap. We're gonna see if ours fits, and we're gonna see if these threads are gonna make it enough. I think they might be a little bit too short because we already had to add things to our other pieces, our jets. So let's go see if these are gonna fit. Oh, no good. Okay. So what I have noticed is that the screws they supplied, the stainless steel screws, they're going to be just a tad bit too short for where my tile was installed. So I'm going to run to the hardware store, buy these, and we're going to be right back to installing this. All right, guys, I got back. I had to go pick up some about a 1/4 inch longer screws. So let's get back to putting this thing together. All right, so I've got my plate here. Slide it over, make sure that gasket seals up nice. Like I said, you do not have to use a drill. You can use a regular screwdriver, but I'm gonna speed this process up just a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's all centered up. Let's move on to the next step, is to install this plate and this piece right here. Making sure that your gasket right here is on your escutcheon plate so that we can put it in and it'll seal out the water over this piece right here. We're gonna set that on. Line it up nice and straight. And we're gonna screw this part on right here. Making sure, guys, that thinner piece is what you screw on first. And what that's gonna do, it's going to lock the escutcheon plate in place. So don't tighten it too hard where you've put metal, flex that metal. All right, there we go. All right, guys, for this next part, one of the most complicated parts, we're not gonna be able to show you right exactly here because I need to get in the shower to adjust this because I don't have my rain shower heads on or my hose hooked up yet. But this is essentially, this is what we're gonna do. You've got 2 parts, or 3 parts, I'm sorry, right here. You got the handle. The handle is going to slip over. There's 2 smooth spots on it. You're gonna line those smooth spots up. That's not hard to do. And then you're gonna turn that to the straight up position. So it's gonna be to the right at your 3 o'clock or down to your 6 o'clock. If you turn it up to the right, the shower is on. Next thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take this piece right here. This is our limiter. With your limiter, you have to set this up in such a manner, and the way that I find it the easiest is this water. So I like it about right there, I think. When it's on, it'll be, yeah, that's about medium, right? I think so. No. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna set that on there about midway between hot and cold. Then I'm gonna take this piece. I'm gonna set this on here. Gotta make sure that this back part right here lines up with our screw portion. Okay. Now, when you're on, this will allow you to either turn the water on, colder, or hotter. if you don't have much room for your hot and cold, then you don't have it turned enough. When you're in full blast, if you can't rotate that down all the way to hotter, you may need to rotate it a little bit more. You'll know that you've rotated it too far when you don't have any room. I'm gonna rotate that around a little bit there. Put this back in. I'm gonna give myself a little bit more room for a little bit hotter water, okay? And so all you gotta do is rotate this portion around a little bit. That will give your knob a little bit more room to turn, okay? There we go. And then what you want to do, you want to go ahead and put your screw in, do not strip this out. Do not put this in too hard, okay? All you want to do is just basically just touch it. That's it. You don't need that thing tight. Here's why. I'm gonna keep, all it does is hold this piece into that piece. I'm gonna keep this just like this. I'm not gonna apply this portion until my shower is done and I'm convinced that my hot water is where I want it. All I need to do is take this screw out and adjust this. Once I get in the shower and I've got all the water going, you wanna set this is your hot water limiter. Where it's set perfectly in the middle, when you turn this on, this should be a comfortable shower. You can go from colder to hotter, but when it's set basically to the middle, when you get in, that water temperature is set perfect for you. That way you don't have to continue to adjust the hot and cold. So once you get that set, you turn it on, your shower comes out nice and hot. If you need a little bit hotter, you've got room to make it hotter. If you need it colder, you've got room to make it colder. If it gets too hot and you won't get cold enough when it's on, you need to take this out, rotate this toward the cold, put it back on, turn it off, rotate it, turn it back on, and then see how your water gets a little bit colder. If that's comfortable, then you're good. Then you can put this piece on. So this is gonna be something that you're gonna have to try. This is not just a stick it on and it's good. You have to do this part on your own in the shower with it running to check the temperature of that water. You could do it right here if all your things were attached and you put this on and you just like say you're just your hose or whatever, you can adjust the temperature. But the way mine is right now, we don't have everything attached. So I don't want to mess with this. I'm gonna do this part the very last after I seal the grout and everything. Let's go ahead and move on to this portion. Now, you remember earlier when I said this thing's got to be flat. There's a little nipple in there, or a little indentation, because underneath this one, this is where you have your Allen screw, your little stud screw. You're gonna slip this on. There we go. And what we gotta do, we gotta very carefully put this portion on. Okay, now I got it started. Very simple, guys. And this is the knob to divert the water to all of our locations. This is gonna have 6 settings on it. This will move the water from our jets to our hose to our rain heads, or to a combination of them. And I'm just gonna slowly put this piece on here, and then this kit that we bought comes with a little plug that you plug in right here to just basically close it all off and make it look. I bet I can turn that. There we go. Now that I got it started in there. Yep, I'm gonna do that right there. Don't do that until after you put that thing into that flat spot, or else, well, that won't be good. All right, I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit. Now this will click into positions. So we should have 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions and back to 1. And we're all done with that install. All I gotta do is adjust the temperature once we get the water running. Okay guys, last part of our thing besides the hot water adjustment valve is we're going to install our rain heads, our rain shower heads. Very simple. We're gonna add Teflon tape. We're gonna add the thread sealer. We're gonna go ahead and screw them in and be very careful not to scratch them. These things, you never know. Now, you've got your threads already prepped. All we gotta do is find the outlet inside here. And make sure you don't cross thread it. And turn those. And hopefully, your plumber put everything straight, which will be a good thing. Now, you can see we've got a little bit of room up here. And see, he did not put mine in straight. I can tell right now. Yeah. There's a little bit of room above your escutcheon. You can get a pair of pliers in that cloth and tighten it way up there so it doesn't mar up the metal where you see it. Well, we're pretty tight. Just barely fits my escutcheon. Okay, that's number 1. Let's put in number 2. Whew, very close. Okay, guys, there we go. Dual rain head showers installed. That one's a little bit crooked, but what are we gonna do? It's too late to do anything now. All right, guys, well, we've got the dual rain head showers installed. Everything except that piece, which the plumber's gonna help me with, and our hot water adjustment. I just took the plastic piece off, made the adjustment. That way it can get as hot as it can go, as hot as our hot water heater heats it. Okay, that's pretty hot. So now I'm going to turn it back and we'll see how cold it'll get. Now that should be as cold as it's going to be able to get. Alright, so that's a cold shower. So somewhere right in the middle, right there, right? Right there is set. And that's pretty comfortable. It's going to be perfectly straight up and down right there. That'll be, yep. So now that I've got this set, remember, we're not over tightening this. Just tighten the screw up. No reason to over tighten it.
Not the other piece?
Yep, hand me that other piece, baby.
Alrighty. Just this one, right?
Yep. Okay, and the last part is, this has one piece that's a little bit bigger, and this one's a little bit smaller. So all you gotta do, there's a big part here and a small part up here. They're actually opposites. So the little one does not go to the little side, and the big one doesn't go to the big side. They actually go opposite. The big one goes to the top little one, and the little one on the bottom of this goes to the bottom of that one on the big one. So it slips in just like that and pops on. I wish it would fit just a little bit more snug. There seems to be a small gap here, but it fits perfect. And I don't see a ring or any kind of dress-up kit that would make up that difference. So that's pretty much it, guys. Pretty simple installation, except for that part because I wasn't understanding the instructions. Now you guys know. Thanks for watching. This is Donovan with Team Tate Outdoors. We got a shower in. We'll talk to you later.